Okay, I'm back, y'all, in Divine and Grateful Risings. How are y'all doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome back to From the Car to the Kingdom. I'm Touche Germain. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're feeling good. I wanted to do this video. It won't be nearly as long. I'll probably do maybe one longer video in at the beginning of the day. But I was cutting up my vegetables for tonight, and so let me show y'all my dinner. Just different things that we'll talk about. Kind of the way that I eat over the last. Oh gosh, I don't know. One of my prayers. Let me just start off by saying this. It's evening time, and I did a video earlier. It's 4:29 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm still in the same spot. I hadn't moved from where I was. I've been working today. Wasn't supposed to be, but I told the Lord that I was going to get something done, and so I'm working on getting that done. So stay tuned, more on that. But the sun is almost going down. We still got about maybe an hour and a half before the sun goes down, but I did want to kind of just share some of the things insofar as eating, um, and things that you can eat and how you can eat when you're in the wilderness, so that you don't have to always rely on the fast food. There are times, let me just tell you this for whoever needs to know this, there are times when you're going to have to eat fast food. Okay. There was a time when literally that was all I could afford was fast food. And so I ate a lot of fast food. I want to tell somebody, if you have a smartphone, and if you don't, of course, I'm going to recommend for y'all. I have to go through and just kind of explain to y'all that, um, I, how do I tell this? um, Government assistance. Let's talk about that. Food stamps, right? And so, um, I have been on food stamps for quite a while. However, at this point, per God's direction, I give most of my food stamps to my daughter. People would say, why would you say, why do you do that? Because God told me to. One of the things that God has required me to do, and I'm sharing this, and pray for me, okay? But I give most of my food stamps to my daughter. And let me explain how this came about. If you have not, I will tell you, um, in the beginning, that it may be something that you've never done, but make sure that you apply for food stamps. I have to give this story the way that it's happened for me so you can understand God. And so I'm going to tell the truth and shame the devil for this. Um, and it is what it is. So, yes, I am currently on food stamps. And earlier, this is not my first time being on food stamps. When I was a nurse, I was not eligible to receive food stamps. And so, but here in California, I have been on food stamps, SNAP benefits, if you will. And so, um, vegetables, y'all, I love them. So I've been on food stamps. And so, long story short, this is what happened. At the beginning of 2024, so a year ago, I was getting food stamps, and I had to reapply for them at the end of when I got back to California. I reapplied for them, and I was able to get them. And so that's how I was able to buy my food, buy my groceries, get the things that I needed. Um, they denied me for, and again, this is like October, November 2023. They denied me for like the cash benefit because I think they have one, but I didn't qualify for it for whatever reason. At one point when I had it, I did qualify for it. So if you have children, I'm gonna say it's something to get it. Okay, go ahead and get it for you and your children. Like we've already talked about, we don't have time for shame in this season. Okay, if you need help, don't be afraid to use the help that's available for you. Again, I'm just sharing my story the way it has gone for me. So, got back to California 2023, applied for food stamps, got approved for them. So from then until now, I have been on food stamps. Um, then at the beginning of 2024, I was in LA. I used my food stamps, or I went to use my food stamps on the day that they reloaded onto my card. And I was able to get the stuff that I needed for that day. But then when I checked my balance, it said I didn't have anything left. Long story short, 2 months in a row. So this was February and March of last year. Someone stole my food stamps. How? I have no idea, but they did. And so February, I went to, after I bought those and I saw that balance, I was like, what is happening with this? And so I went and looked it up, and I don't even remember where it was. It was like in another place, another state. Someone had stole my food stamps. I was like, oh my gosh, immediately I was kind of tripping out, and I was like, what am I going to do? Because that was how I eat. So the Lord was like, again, y'all remember, this is me fairly new in the beginning of my walk of trust, right? Up with the Lord. And so um the Lord was like, you're gonna be all right. So needless to say, for that month, I had to depend on the Lord to provide sustenance for me. I had to depend on him to make sure that I ate. And so he did that. Now I can just like one of the examples that he gave, because I didn't call and report it when they stole them that time. I literally said this. I said, you know what? I said, if somebody stole food stamps from me, homeless, living in my car, they had to need it more than I did. I said, so Lord, I pray that it blessed them, that they were able to feed themselves and any children, if they had children that they had to feed. I was just like, if somebody's stealing from me and I already ain't got nothing, you got to need it. And so I'm gonna try to clean the camera, y'all. And so Lord said, don't worry about it. I'll make sure you eat. So I said, okay, cool. So he did. And it wasn't like these big grand meals. It was, a lot of times it was fast food, but sometimes it was $5, $6, like somebody might bless me with something. More often than not, at that time I was going live on TikTok. And so from the gifts that people would send, even if it was like one rose, it would be like 1 cent. So about every Wednesday, I would get a deposit of some sort. And so, needless to say, the Lord made a way, and I didn't end up having food stamps for that month. Then the following month, I was like, okay, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and boom, try to get me some stuff for food. Before I could even get to the store, it was like they was waiting at 12:00:01, y'all. Those food stamps were gone again. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like what is going on? So this time, of course, I did report it. I had to cancel the card. But the Lord said, now I'm in LA, so my daughter's here um in San Diego. But the Lord was like, you're not gonna get those back. And I'm like, what do you mean, Lord? Like, what do you mean I'm not gonna get them back? And so it was a story, it was a test of trust for me. And so um that was an instruction that the Lord gave me. He told me that I needed to depend on him to provide for me, and I needed to trust him. So I was in LA at the time anyway, and I wasn't able to come back to San Diego at that time. So what I did was I just called them and I had them, I allowed my daughter to be put on the account so she could use them as well. And so that was that. So she had the card. I didn't have access to them at all because I'm still in LA at this time. And I was just like, it is what it is. And so that was the beginning of 2024. And so from then until now, my daughter has had the food stamps. When I came back to when I came back to San Diego after I didn't come back until June. And since then, not every month, but most of the, well, not every month, but almost most of the time, like I might get a few things now, but for the most part, I allow my daughter to keep them. She's young, y'all, and you know she was busting it trying to work two jobs. And so I was just grateful to be able to help her in some sort of way. And again, this is my faith walk, my faith journey. And this is me having this relationship of knowing that God is going to provide for me. And so, I was able to be a blessing to my daughter in that way. And some people would say that's crazy, but I'm obedient. Okay. Like I'm obedient. And if God said for me to give them to her instead of keeping them for myself, that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I did. Um, and so God has provided for me. Now, with that being said, um, being a single person, it's not a whole lot that you receive, but it's a blessing to get anything because I can remember the days when I couldn't get nothing. And so the Lord has provided for me. He has sustained me insofar as my meals. And so I I have gone through the season. So just FYI, some of the things that the Lord has done for me to make sure that he made good on his promise. There was one day where I didn't have anything. I didn't have any money. I didn't have gas. I couldn't do nothing. I didn't have water. And this was before I found the little machines where you could fill the water jugs up. So I would just buy a gallon of water. And a gallon of water in the store is like $1.50. I don't even think it's a full $1.50, but I didn't even have that. And so I was thirsty, I was hungry, and I was just like, you know what? I was like, it is what it is. I was like, the Lord he's either gonna help me or he's not. And either way, I was like, it is what it is. So I remember I was in like Redondo Beach at this time on this particular day. And I was like, okay, let me go ahead and go to where I'm going to go so I can go to sleep. And I was like, you know what? Before I do that, let me go by Target. Let me go to Target and go pee for the night. Right. So I could go and just be done. And then once I parked out, that would be it. I get to Target and I still have it in my wallet. I still have it in my wallet. I get to Target and I'm getting out and I'm just randomly park. I get out. And as I get out, look on the ground and I see a little Target card. Let me see. Did I keep it? I don't even know if I kept it. I might have. It might be down in my, what's it called? I see a little Target gift card. And you know how people go, you go to Target or you go to these different places, and I had never seen a Target gift card before, but I was just like, whatever. And I look down and I see this Target gift card, and I almost walked past it, and I heard Spirit say, you need to pick it up. And I was like, huh? I was like, okay, whatever. So I picked it up. And so I think I don't even know. I might have threw it away. I don't know, y'all. So I picked it up and I was just like, whatever. I said, well, you know what? Why not just check and see if there's something on it? So I did. I called the number. I think I put it in my little thing where I keep all my stuff. Anyway, I called the number, y'all. And because I was going to the bathroom, I called the number. And sure enough, y'all, there was $10 on this gift card. And I was just so outdone because I was like, what? And so that allowed me, so I'm in Target. So I was able to get a gallon of water, and I was able to get a little personal pan pizza. What's crazy is like, I didn't even know that Pizza Hut kept like pizzas in Target. And so I happened to go and look, and there was one pizza left. And I was able to get that pizza, and I was able to get a gallon of water. And that's what I was able to eat for the night. So it's stuff like that would just randomly happen. Like, you just can't even make this up. And so anyway, God was just like, I told you, I'm going to make sure you're good. And so he has. So I just wanted to share some things, like insofar, I told y'all I don't have a cooler anymore. And there were times, and sometimes there still are times. I'm not saying it's like completely over, but one of the things I've prayed for is just to ask God, like, Daddy, I love vegetables. Like, I love vegetables. And but there's only certain vegetables that I can, some vegetables have to be cooked and some can be raw. So as much as I can, um, I try to eat vegetables. And so hence my meal today. I have a yellow cucumber. I've already started putting everything together, but I have a yellow, not a yellow cucumber, yellow bell pepper. I have some cherry tomatoes in here. I have a cucumber in here. I have, what else did I put in here? I have an avocado. And then I also have an orange tomato, and I'm thinking about cutting it up an orange bell pepper, because this is my last one. I'm almost out of all of my vegetables. And so things like, I probably should, because most of the vegetables that you get, I can keep, I only get the vegetables that'll keep for a couple of days. Because not a lot of times I go to my daughter's house. Like, my daughter called me today and she was telling me that she has some leftovers that she cooked from the other day. So I'm probably gonna go eat at my daughter's house tomorrow. But I'll eat cherry tomatoes. I actually eat these as a snack a lot of times with just some ranch dressing. It's one of my favorite snacks to eat. And then I have my bell peppers. I buy these. They come in a 3-pack. And now I get all my vegetables from Aldi. So these come in a 3-pack. It had 3 in there, but I ate 1 yesterday, and then I had these 2 left. And because it's the last one, I'm probably gonna go and re-up on my vegetables on Monday. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably eat these. I don't really have to. I don't know. I probably won't, because it's a lot in the bowl already. So I might just wait and not eat this. But just FYI, some vegetables that will keep a couple of days without refrigeration. Cucumbers, mushrooms, because I had mushrooms at first, but I've eaten those. Cucumbers, mushrooms, usually my vegetable salads. My daughter calls it foraging, because she be laughing, because I really, really like vegetables. And normally whenever I'm like, that's typically what I'll eat now. But at one time, like I said, I was having to eat a lot of fast food. But now I tend to eat more vegetables, or I try to. That was one of my prayers. Like I said, I asked the Lord, like, please just let me be able to get vegetables. So if I spend about $15, I'm able to get everything that I need in order to get my vegetables that I like to eat, which really typically is the same thing over and over. So my diet now, when I'm not eating at my daughter's house, who cooks amazing food, like she's the cook, is like bell pepper, cucumber, tomatoes, bacon, because yeah, I'm not a vegetarian. Okay, I just like vegetables. So bell peppers, cucumber, tomatoes, bacon, avocado, um, what else? Mushrooms, and sometimes I'll get broccoli, but they sell the broccoli in such a big thing that it doesn't keep as well. But I really like broccoli as well, and all of it I eat raw. So I put it all in the bowl, put some salad dressing on it, and croutons, because I really like those. I do have some croutons over there. And so just a little quick tip about some things that you can eat raw, that you can eat raw. And I had a can of tuna. And so I don't eat a lot of meat unless I'm like, even my daughter, when she cooks, like, I don't eat a lot of meat. I tend to, and when I'm doing this, it's usually only tuna and bacon bits. That's really the only meat that I eat at this point. Like, I'll eat other meats, but insofar as what I buy, I typically only buy tuna. Um, and now I only shop like for a couple of days at a time. So I had a can of tuna, so I put that in there, and that is my meal for today. So I'm gonna eat, but I wanted to just kind of share that part with y'all. I probably will wait and release this tomorrow. I don't know. I might go ahead and release it tonight, but I just wanted to share that even in the wilderness, there's an opportunity for us to try to eat better. And it's hard sometimes because, like I said, there were many days where McDonald's has been my best friend. And I will say this to somebody again, y'all, the Lord has just instructed me to be as honest and open and transparent about all of this as I can be. And so I have many, many, many food apps that are downloaded on my phone. I don't know what your preferences are, but McDonald's is great. Shout out to McDonald's, whether you like it or whether you don't. There have been times when McDonald's was my meal, and sometimes I had to eat McDonald's 3-4 days in a row. It would be times where you would get something, and they probably have it right now. You could get something for $1. Am I encouraging you to do that? No, I want you to eat fruits and vegetables. I want you to have fruits and vegetables, and that's what but I also understand that there are times when you may not be able to do that. So I'm not advocating for fast food, but I'm advocating for a meal. And if that's what you got to eat, then that's what you have to eat. Because sometimes them two McDoubles add mac sauce. Okay, was a difference between me having a meal or being hungry for days. Because sometimes I would only eat one, and then I would have one for the next day. I've learned to eat like I don't because I don't have refrigeration. Most of my meals are cold or don't really require heat. You know what I'm saying? So just being real about it, y'all. As much as we want to say, oh, yes, we know fast food is not great for us, we know that we want to eat better. But when you out here in the wilderness, that sometimes that's what the Lord will bless you to have. And so it's ultimately, that's not, is that what you want to eat? No, the goal is to eat better. We want to eat better. We want to eat our fruits and vegetables. And I don't really eat a lot of sweet stuff, but I will eat sweet stuff. Right now, my snack of choice, and I got this from Aldi, is like tropical trail mix, because I don't really do a lot of candy. So I've been trying to, like, I don't buy normal, like the regular candy. Every blue moon I'll have some. I like peppermints and butterscotches that I kind of keep in my car, but for the most part, this is my snack. Or I have some granola that I'll snack on as well, because they have this salted caramel granola, and I have some, but I don't feel like reaching for it right this second. It's from Aldi. So I try my best to eat as best as I can. Y'all see it's in the back seat because I'll be back there snacking on that. Don't judge me, right? So I usually snack on it when I'm getting ready to go to sleep. That's like my last meal of the day. So, and when I say go to sleep, y'all, I'm usually laid down like when the sun goes down. So I'll be sleep by 6:30. I'm usually laying down. So 6:30, 7 o'clock. It's over with me. So anyway, again, I'm just here to keep it as real as I can with y'all. Like, is it optimal to have to eat fast food? No, it's not. But if you hungry, are you going to say no because it's fast food? That's one of the things that the Lord taught me about, was because I can remember last year complaining to the Lord because all I was able to get was fast food. All I was able to eat was the fattening stuff. And fast forward to when I first started on this journey, y'all, it was a time when I couldn't even afford fast food. There was a season of my life where, come on, God, when I first started this journey, y'all, I might release this today. When I first started this journey in 2023, after my son was gone, so this is after June, there was a time of my life where all I could afford was bologna and bread. And so for the summer of 2023, mostly what I ate were, before I started buying the cans of tuna, because now I just buy the cans of tuna, but before that, I would buy like the little packets of tuna. And so at that time, before I was even able to buy the little packs of tuna, my diet consisted of bologna and bread. And that was all I had. I remember when I was leaving San Diego from like coming back after having come back, and I was going to LA for those couple weeks. I had just enough gas to put some gas in my car and make it to LA. And I didn't know what was going to happen after that, but the Lord told me to go. So I did. And I didn't have any money. I had enough money for a loaf of bread and a pack of bologna from Walmart. And, and that's what I ate, was bologna sandwiches. And I remember at that time, I had never been to LA before in my life. And so the whole time I had been here in San Diego, I had never been to LA. And so I get to LA and I didn't know my way around. And the only thing I told myself was, well, okay, maybe I can go sit by the airport. So that's what I put in my GPS. And so there was this one little right across from LAX. I was able to not quite by, I think it's called Colors Park, Color, something like that. I was a little for, I wasn't quite that, I hadn't even gotten all that way, not even knowing how close I was to the beach at that time. Again, y'all, I was very, very green and had no idea what to do when I first started this journey. And so I literally sat in that space all day, every day. And hmm, at that time, I didn't have any money. So there was I want to say it was either a Vaughn's or I think it was a Ralph's around the corner right there off of PCH. And that's where I would have to try to go there to use the restroom. And so I wouldn't drink as much because I was trying not, because I didn't have anywhere to go to the restroom. And we'll talk about restroom a whole another day. Okay, we'll talk about that another day. Thank you, Lord. So I would sit in that spot all day, and all I had at that time, I had some stuff that had been in the cooler that I had from when my son was with me. And when he was with me, I had, because we were in the Airbnb, so I had like some quick stuff that he could cook in the microwave when we were there. So I had like some packs of noodles. And at that time, y'all, again, so this is summer of 2023. One of my meals, besides the bologna sandwich, I would say it was more like my snack. I would take regular ramen noodles and crush them up and then just sprinkle the seasoning on top of them, and I would eat them like that. Um, but they were good. And to me, in my head, and I was like, oh, these are my chips. That was what I was eating for chips. And I had bologna sandwiches. And so that was what my meals consisted of. And so I always kept a loaf of bread, and I had like some condiments that I had still had from when me and my son were together. And I would always, and then every now and again, I would be able to buy some cheese. And so I would have like a bologna and cheese sandwich. And that's what I ate for the first like maybe month and a half of me being in the wilderness. That's what I ate, was bologna and cheese. And so I remember being in Dallas at this point. I was out by White Rock. Is it White Rock Lake? I think it's White Rock. And that's where I pretty much slept all the time. And so I would go to Walmart, get the stuff that I needed. And it was at that time that I started kind of transitioning into getting the tuna, the little packs of tuna from Starkist. I think it's Starkist. I'm not sure. Anyway, the little flavored tuna packs. And so most of my meals consisted of those packs of tuna and I would have a loaf of bread. Sometimes I would be able to get crackers. Sometimes I wouldn't. At this point, I'm not shopping. I didn't know I would sleep on Dollar Tree. And so, I was, man, I was, that's all I ate. That's all I had was tuna, bread. I didn't even have enough at that time to get fast food, y'all. Every blue moon, and I remember it, and I don't even know if I posted the video on TikTok, but this was back in 2023. I remember I didn't even have gas, y'all. Like I was literally just had to sit in one spot all day. And this was when I was still in LA. I couldn't go anywhere. I was literally across the street from the airport, and I was grateful because I could watch the planes, but I couldn't go anywhere because I didn't have gas. And I didn't know that I was literally less than probably 2 miles from the beach at this point. But I just was sitting there all day, just like, man, what am I going to do now? I was still getting up and I was still going live. But all day I would just sit there, wouldn't go anywhere. The only time I would leave is to go to the bathroom. And then at this point, remember, I don't have a gym membership. So because that didn't happen until over a year later. So I'd get up, go to the bathroom, and then I can't even, at that point, I wasn't in LA very long, but I would just like find a Walmart. I would have to just thug it out, go to Walmart, try to take a wash off, and then go back to the same spot where I was at. And I remember one day somebody blessed me on one of the lives, and I was able to get Raising Canes. And I remember going to Canes that day, and I sat there and I recorded a video. And y'all, that Raising Canes was so good because it was the first time that I was able to eat a hot meal in a really, really, really long time. And so I remember I posted the video and I was crying because I was just like, oh my gosh, like it was so good. It was probably the best meal, one of the best meals I ever had. And I was very grateful again, the way my gratitude set up. Um, I was so grateful in that moment for that meal because it had been many, many months since I had had a hot meal, and because I couldn't afford it. And so, um, I just remember how grateful I was for that because at that point I had been eating bologna sandwiches for like weeks. And I was like, oh my gosh. So, anyway, so for the first part of my journey, I didn't even have the money. I couldn't even afford McDonald's. Okay. Like I didn't have it to do. I had to buy enough to make it last for me to get as much as I could. So I learned how to buy things that would last. Things, just buying enough for me to have for a couple of days. And so that's what I did. I hadn't thought about a lot of this stuff, y'all, since that time, because the Lord he's changed a lot for me since then. But I just wanted to encourage someone and give this as a resource. If you have an Aldi, it's not that you can't get vegetables from anywhere else. I just know they have really good deals, and that's where I've been shopping for all of my vegetables. I can get enough with the stuff that I just named, and it'll last me like 2 days, sometimes three, because I may not even eat everything or use everything on up one particular day. Like some days I may not do tomatoes, so then I'll do tomatoes and bell peppers and cucumbers the one day, or I might do mushrooms and tomatoes and a bell pepper and not do cucumber, stuff like that. So I try to mix it up so it's not so monotonous all the time. But I just wanted to give that as a resource, and I guess I'm going to post this video. I don't really know how the Lord, I'm just trying to be obedient to what he's telling me to do. And so I wanted to share that as an option for someone. Um, if you're a fruits and vegetables person like me, then Aldi is definitely a great resource. And or anywhere where prefer to shop. Of course, like Dollar Tree, which I am a big fan of now. I don't know why. Again, y'all, it's things that I just wasn't even thinking about, and it now I'm like, me and Dollar Tree best, like that's my BFF, okay? But that's something that came later. I wasn't really thinking about utilizing Dollar Tree before, but now I do. I shop for a lot of my stuff from Dollar Tree, but not like some of them every now. Well, no, I get my crackers from Dollar Tree. They have some vegetable crackers that are really good, so you could try those out. I hadn't tried the plain ones. I've only tried the vegetable ones, and those are good. Um, yeah, I just want to share that with somebody in case can try to, even if you have to eat fast food. If I had known then what I know now, and I'm always going to say that because I did not know, and it may seem crazy to me for me to share this kind of stuff, but again, y'all, I'm just here to tell somebody who ain't never, come on, 3333. I'm just here to tell somebody who ain't never had to go through this experience, that you would think like it literally, you be so overwhelmed and so focused on how am I going to make it. There are things for me at least. And I'm not an ignorant person, but because it was so new to me, there are things that you won't even think about, y'all. Like you won't even think about, and you'll just be like, why, when it finally just clicks, you're gonna be like, why didn't I think of that? And this was one of them. Why didn't I think about using Dollar Tree, or why didn't I think about trying to get fruits and vegetables that would keep for a couple of days in the car? I don't know. I wasn't focused on that. I was focused on survival. I was focused on, the basics, the bare necessities. And a lot of times for me, I was more focused on, okay, I need a meal versus a healthy meal. Does that make sense? And I didn't have anybody telling me or coaching me or you know, giving me advice. I didn't know this is a true story.com. I have never known a homeless person in my life. Like I'd never had, I don't know anybody who's gone through an experience who could have even given me wisdom. Nobody in my family has ever gone through this. So there was no one that I could call and say, hey, I've been in isolation for many years. And even though I wasn't, like, I've never been through this. I don't know anyone who's been through this. So I didn't have anybody that I could call and, what do I do? Nothing. I just had to figure it out. I just had to figure it out. And so I'm here. Come on, God. Like, I'm here to just try to tell somebody, like, man, listen, I know it sounds crazy. And some people might watch this and be like, oh, well, that's common sense. It's really not. It's really when you're so focused in, come on, God, when you're so focused in on survival and safety, and just like you're literally in a season where you're just like, I'm so overwhelmed and I don't know what to do and what's going on and how do I make it, and you're so focused on your survival that you just like, you ain't gonna tell yourself, I got $10, let me go get some vegetables. You're gonna be like, man, I got $10, let me go grab me something to eat, because that's what we're used to, right? We're used to convenience. We're used to going and getting the stuff that we would normally get when you're not in this situation. So um I'm sharing these things, and because it really, I just hope it helps. You'd be amazed how quickly your brain, everything that you thought you knew will change, and you'll have to think in a completely different way. You'll have to think and learn how to adapt. And I'm still adapting to stuff. Like I told y'all, I just bought the things for my windows about a month or so ago, and I've been in the car since March. So it's things like that you don't even think about, because I never thought about having those before. You just move on, but I just wasn't thinking about it. So anyway, I hope this helps somebody. Um, I don't know how the Lord is going to have me releasing these. I don't know if he's just going to have me releasing messages once a day, but I just wanted to just kind of put that into somebody's spirituals. Um, I know it sounds kind of crazy, but if you can add an apple, an orange, a vegetable, or something healthy, I know your first thought is going to be just grab something because you just want a meal. But as you continue to progress, I hope that this resonates for you to be able to say, eat something alive, eat something healthy. Because there may be a season, if your experience is anything like mine, where you're trying to just figure out what to do, um, try to just keep this in the back of your mind and start before I did, because I feel like if I had that different mindset, or even just had somebody to say, like, hey, like, you can eat differently, I probably wouldn't have gained the weight that I've gained. Like I told y'all, between hormones and the IUD that I had placed, and just like different stuff going on, like my body changing. um if I had known, I probably would have started eating my fruits and vegetables a lot sooner, and before I really started putting on the weight. So, um, anyway, I hope that wasn't too scattered. I hope it wasn't all over the place, but try to eat some fruits and vegetables. Those are the things that I know right off that, they'll keep. You may find some other things, experiment, and see what works best for you, so that you can at least try to eat a little healthier, because it's going to benefit you. You feel better with the fruits and vegetables, and um they give you energy as well, just like that. And is, well, for me it's better, but I just want to encourage somebody to try to eat some fruits and vegetables, even as much as you can, download apps, y'all. There are many apps that, and again, this is truth, there are many apps that when you download it, you get something for free. Message, um you get something for free. I can remember one day in Texas, y'all, I was in Austin, and I was hungry again. I was so hungry this day, and I was just like, at this point, I was just like, well, I'm just waiting on the Lord. And by the grace of God, I didn't have any money, anything. Manna, because this is what we're talking about, is manna, right? I didn't have any money, no food, no water, no nothing. I was sitting at this park in Austin, and I was hungry, and I just was kind of like, okay, Lord. And I went on YouTube, and I was scrolling, and I talked about this on the live I did, I think that next day, but I was scrolling, and I happened to see Whataburger. And I was like, I call it Whataburger. I was born in Texas, and we call it Whataburger. So I don't care what y'all say. Don't be judging me. Okay, don't be judging me. So um it was an app. It was like advertising their app, and it was like, get a free Whataburger when you download the app. And a lot of places, like a lot of the apps you'll see, or that a lot of the apps you'll download will be like, you can get something free if you buy this or spend this or something like that. Now I ain't had no money, so I was like, well, wait a minute. So I was like, you know what? Let me just see if I can get something to eat. And so sure enough, I downloaded the app, and kid you not, I ended up getting a free Whataburger. So I was so grateful. That was one of the best burgers I've ever eaten in my life. Lord have mercy. So if you're in Texas or over there where they have those, they don't have them here in California, unfortunately. But if you're in Texas, you can get a free Whataburger if you download the app. That was a meal for me that day. And like I said, I was beyond grateful. And again, let me reiterate this as well. There were times in this journey where I would say I was ungrateful, right? Because had I I was hungry that day. The same day I was hungry, and I found the little $10 gift card at Target on the ground. It was some time in between those two times, but I was hungry. And one of the things you'll learn on your journey in the wilderness, because again, hence, read the Israelites in the wilderness. Okay, read Exodus, and you will see everything I'm talking about. You will find yourself in this wilderness in Exodus. And the Israelites were complaining. And I was like, there were times when I was just like, man, I don't want fast food, I want fruits and vegetables. And God be like, you was just complaining about being hungry. So you're going to complain about the food that I'm giving you, like the Israelites complained about the manna. What is it, right? Were complaining about the manna, but it's like, would you rather eat or would you rather be hungry? And so the Lord had to teach me about that, because I wasn't going, I was like, I will. And I say it all the time. I will not complain. I will not complain about the small blessings from the Lord. I'm telling somebody right now, don't listen. There are going to be days when your stomach feel like it's touching your back. Okay. And you may have to wait on an 11th hour blessing, and you don't have to be grateful when the Lord blesses you with this provision, this manna out the sky. And it may not be what you want, but there are going to be days. The days of you eating what you want are coming. Come on, Spirit. The days of you eating what you want are coming. But be grateful for what you got, because the Lord going he provided that Whataburger, like he provided. Come on, it's 5:11 p.m. That number is chasing me. God will help you create. There's a number in the angel numbers deck, and it's 5:11, and it talks about God will help you create, and that number is chasing me right now. It's literally 5:11 p.m. I talked about it on the earlier message, because I saw the number on a billboard, and I said it. And what's crazy is the message that I actually posted today, where I was giving the message from God. I said the number 5:11 in that video. So this is the third time that this number has come up. So that may be important for somebody. Thank you, Lord. I receive it. Did I write it down? I did, just to show y'all, look right there, message 5:11, because I've been getting that number all day today. So anyway, be grateful. Okay. It may suck, and it may not be what you want, but God is going to provide food. He's going to make sure that you eat. So just be grateful for what he provides, and enjoy it, because again, the day is going to come when you're going to be able to eat what you want and not what you have to. So anyway, I don't know if this is for tomorrow's video. Like I said, y'all, I'm just trying to, he just said release it, so I got to release it tonight. And as stuff comes up, y'all, I'll just share the journey. I'll just share experiences. I'll just share, whatever the Lord wants me to share. So Lord, I hope this helps somebody. Try to eat some fruits and vegetables as much as you can, okay? But just know that your food will be provided for, okay? I promise you that the Lord is going to provide for you to eat. I'm a witness and I'm a testimony to this. If the Lord tells you to be obedient and not eat, not, like me, give your food stamps away. Once you're at a point of trusting him, it's just like, okay, Lord, I don't care what it is, man, God gonna provide. And that's just it. God provides. He really, he does, y'all. So anyway, that's all I got. Lord, I hope this helps somebody. Y'all, hydrate your soul and things. Drink your water. Say your gratitude. Have a fantastic and an amazing evening in Purpose on Purpose. I'm finna eat my salad, and then it's a wrap for me. I love y'all in real life. I'll see y'all on the next one. Deuces, y'all.